Good afternoon, Professor Murad and fellow classmates. As a result of several recent projects following the more traditional means of project management, failing to provide quality solutions, either by taking too long to complete, requiring constant modifications that weren't part of the original requirements, or coming in over budget, I'd like to propose the Agile project management solution to our future projects. To get a good understanding of the Agile project management method, we're going to go over several different bullet points. First, I'll be describing the characteristics of the Agile project management method. Then, we'll go into some of the differences between the Agile and traditional waterfall methods to evaluate what projects are good for each method. Next, we'll be talking about some best practices within the Agile method. Also, benefits of the Agile project management method to our organization specifically, and also influence of Agile techniques on project leadership, and last, why again we should migrate over to a more Agile approach to our project management as opposed to a traditional means. The first thing anyone needs to do when learning about Agile project management is to forget everything they think they know about good project management. The reason is because Agile project management in many ways is a direct contradiction to traditional project management. However, the more we look into the characteristics of Agile project management, the more you'll see the efficiencies within. First, for example, the requirements are allowed to evolve within Agile project management. However, just like any other project, the time scale is still fixed. The way an Agile project can allow requirements to evolve over time is by increasing the efficiency of the workforce and the financial requirements of the project. Next, another characteristic of Agile project management is the theory of, in the beginning, only capturing high-level requirements and doing a lightweight assessment of the overall project scope, compared to traditional project management, where up front everything is detailed step by step, and any change along the way often causes delays. But with Agile project management, this ability to be flexible and change along the way is a strong safeguard to ensure that the finished product is precisely what the customer requires. Next, another characteristic of Agile project management involves the requirement of constant feedback from the users. Just like we just spoke of, at the beginning of the project, we only need in Agile project management a high-level understanding of the goals. Along the way, different releases of the product will be presented to the customers to test and provide feedback. This process is done over and over again to ensure that the final product is exactly what the customer asked for and needed. Last, the team must be empowered to make decisions. A qualified team should be trusted to do what's right, but in traditional project management, the workers are often not given the leeway to do what they feel is right and what will benefit the customer if it's not exactly documented in the previous project plan. However, again, within the Agile project management method, teammates who have great ideas along the way are provided the freedom to implement them in order to make sure that the customer's product is exactly what they asked for. Additional characteristics of the Agile project management method include the application of the 80-20 rule. This means that within any project, traditional or Agile, typically 80% of your results may come from 20% of your efforts. The difference is, in Agile project development, we're going to try to focus on the 20% of effort that gets the majority of the results, thus increasing our efficiency dramatically. Next, as mentioned in the previous slide, different iterations of the project will be released to the customers throughout the project lifecycle and development process. This testing, integrated throughout the project lifecycle of being tested early and often, is a great way to receive feedback from the customer to narrow down exactly what they're looking for. Next, just to elaborate, a collaboration and cooperation between all stakeholders is essential. This communication and feedback during all stages of the project will keep the team as focused and efficient as possible. Again, probably trying to hone in on that 20% of your effort that will get the most results. In order to determine the most appropriate project management method for our organization, it's important to understand the strengths of each of them. First, Agile is best suited for projects where there's a higher chance of frequent requirement changes. They are also very flexible in making it possible to make changes in any phase. It's also good to understand that requires more challenging leadership to manage such an endeavor. The Agile process also requirements are expected to change frequently. In contrast, waterfall strengths are ideal for projects which have defined requirements and are not expected to change. Waterfall is also easy to manage because of less frequent changes and how it relies on a sequential, rigid method. And last, a waterfall model is defined only once by the business analyst. Another set of key identifiers when understanding the differences between the traditional and Agile project management methods includes how Agile project management values individuals and interactions more than processes and tools, which are more important on the waterfall side. Next, working software is valued more on the Agile project management side as opposed to comprehensive documentation asked for on the waterfall side. Next, customer collaboration is valued more on the Agile project management side than the upfront contract negotiation on the waterfall side. Last, responding to change is more important on the Agile side, in contrast to following a plan is focused more on the waterfall side. Some other best practices for applying Agile methods involve the use of backlogs, which are functions and features that will become part of the final delivered product. Also sprints, which are a short mini project just a few days in duration, where all tasks, including the backlog items, are put into the sprint and are expected to be completed within the sprint's duration. Next, cross-functional teams are teams which drop the barriers between and silos and the resulting inefficiencies of having different functional experts all pushed together. A cross-functional team also operates with increased efficiency and has a more singular focus. Last, continuous integration states that team members from different groups should be pulled together on an ongoing basis so that no one element of a project becomes a silo. Some other best practices involved in applying Agile project management methods include an iterative development approach, which is an adaptive approach to developing early stages and returning to refine that design over and over and over can be much more effective than an incremental approach. Next, the use of SCRUM meetings. SCRUM meetings are used for cross-functional teams to meet with a facilitator referred to as a SCRUM master. The group updates the progress of their last sprint of tasks and regroup for the next sprint. The scope is taken from the backlog of outstanding features, tasks, and issues, and assigned or adopted members of the team will volunteer and commit on what they will do next. These tasks and issues selected are generated from use cases, which are what someone will do to complete a function, or a user story, which is a narrative of a business problem. Some of the many benefits involved in Agile project management for our organization include reduced risk, which will be achieved by constant customer communication through the regular feature releases that we provide. This will ensure that we're on task through the entire project to provide a final product that meets the customer's needs. Agile project management also offers increased efficiency. Through the use of the constant customer communication, we know that nobody will be working on a project that is not in line with the customer's eventual goals. Tasks are worked in an order of priority, and a culture of frequent backlog changes is acceptable to make sure that we're on task to meeting the customer's expectations. In regards to leadership, some may mistakenly think Agile means as little project management as possible. However, only the opposite is actually true. It's easy to manage a traditional project which has an established timeline of phases, one to be completed after the other to completion. However, Agile project management provides a greater ability for change, which provides even more management. Other characteristics of Agile leadership also include developing talent, setting direction, to think strategically, to align resources, to motivate and inspire, to focus on others, execute and follow through, and to lead within. All teams, Agile or traditional, transition through 4 levels of maturity, which include forming, storming, norming, and on to performing. Agile leaders must find ways to facilitate and encourage this process while focusing on the individuals, not the goals. This can be done by getting the team members first to know each other, then facilitate communication through group activities, then encouraging good debates and making decisions, which will lead to beginning to solve problems and eventually start to trust each other, which at that point will begin the performing stage. In conclusion, to ask why we should transition to Agile project management, when evaluating the industry, improving collaboration among teams went up 54% when going from traditional to Agile project management. Next, enhancing the quality level of software in organizations increased 52%. Next, results in enhanced customer satisfaction was raised 49%. Speed time to the market was raised 43%, and reduced development costs was raised 42%. All of these simply by transitioning from traditional project management to an Agile form of project management.